Hi everyone, how's it going? So, how was your Ostara last week? For me, I think it was probably the Sabbath that I celebrated the most ever because, well, it's kind of difficult, being a student and finding the time to do stuff. I at least try to acknowledge every Sabbath. This one was nice because I got to celebrate it more. Me and a few friends just headed down to the beach where we had a bonfire and we had a guy to come and help us with drums, and then he says we're going to do an Ostara ritual, which was nice. So we did an Ostara ritual around a campfire on the beach with drumming, and my friend, I don't know if she'd want me to mention her name, but she made roast potatoes with herbs and vegan cross buns, hot cross buns. But the potatoes were really nice. I didn't try the hot cross buns, but it was a really nice day. So comment down below if you had any special plans or celebrated a star in any way. Now, the story that I'm going to tell today is one that's been done quite a lot over YouTube. As you can see, I've got my little friend Annie here. So if you haven't guessed, I will be talking about the cursed Annabelle doll. As usual, I got my little red book for notes. But I guess everyone has seen, well, a lot of people have seen the two Annabelle films and her appearances in the Conjuring films. But what people might not know is that it was based loosely off a real story. There's some connections, like it all centers around a haunted doll, but there are many differences. Like Annabelle in the film is portrayed as a very scary looking porcelain doll even before she kind of gets possessed. But the real Annabelle doll was a Raggedy Ann doll. And because of my fascination with the story, I got a Raggedy Ann doll for Christmas, and I have asked for another one for my birthday, so hopefully that one's not haunted. I didn't get this doll because I thought she'd be haunted, but there have been a few weird instances which I'll get to after the story, so let me know if you think she's haunted or not. But basically, this story takes place in 1970, where a mother bought an antique Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store for her daughter Donna, who was a nursing student. And Donna and her flatmate Angie, they noticed a few weird things with the doll, like from the get-go. Like, they'd find the doll in different positions. Like, she might have had her legs crossed and then they'd find her with her legs uncrossed. But it started to get progressively worse. Like, they'd find her in different rooms in their apartment, and they even found her standing up, which, if you think about it, it's quite scary, because if I try and stand like Annie up, she's a rag doll, there's no structure to her, so, to find a rag doll standing upright, that's pretty creepy. They also started to find messages from the doll around the house, like "Help us" and "Help Lou." Lou, I've read different things about him. He was either a very close friend of theirs or Donna's fiance, but whatever. They would find notes saying "Help Lou" on pieces of parchment paper, which they didn't own, so they just came to the conclusion that someone was just breaking into their house to play a practical joke. But one day Donna came home and she found what looks like blood on the doll's hand and chest, so she was concerned and contacted a medium. The medium told the girls, or the women, that the doll was like, there was a spirit attached to the doll, and this spirit was of a young girl called Annabelle Higgins, who lived and spent a lot of time on the land that their apartment was built on, and she has grown attached to this doll, and Donna and her flatmate Angie, and she wanted to stay with them. Now, the women felt like if they told the spirit to get out of the doll, it would be like abandoning a child, so they let this Annabelle Higgins stay in the doll, which turns out to be a big mistake. So Lou, who I just mentioned, he never had a good feeling about the doll. He always felt it was evil and that they should get rid of it, but the women didn't listen. But one night he stayed over there, and in the middle of the night he woke up in a state of sleep paralysis, which for some of you I know is a very frightening experience. It's something, thank God, I've never experienced myself. But he noticed the figure of Annabelle down by his feet. And then Annabelle the doll would crawl up his body, sit on his chest, and start to strangle him. He awoke in the morning and he was convinced that it wasn't a dream. A few days after this occurred, Angie and Lou were home while Donna was out, and then they heard a noise coming from Donna's room. Now, they thought someone might be breaking in because they heard ruffling around and then silence, but when they went in there, everything looked in place, but the doll was just crumpled on the floor. And then Lou doubled over in pain, and he opened his top to find 7 scratch marks that were bleeding, and he could have sworn it was from Annabelle. Now, this was too much for the girls, so they contacted a priest who thought this was too much for him, so he contacted his superior, Father Cook, who immediately called Ed and Lorraine Warren. And if you don't know who they are, although I think most of the paranormal community know who they are, they were a married couple who would go and help people with these cases of possessions and curses and stuff like that. And they actually featured in the Conjuring movies where Annabelle made her first appearance. They were real people, and they came along and they talked to the women and Lou, and then they concluded that the doll was actually being manipulated not by a young girl spirit but by a demon who wanted to take over one of them as kind of like a host, because they can't possess objects, they can only possess people, so they were just manipulating the doll until it was able to possess someone. The Warrens got Father Cook to bless the apartment, but the girls wanted the doll to go, so the Warrens took her back in their car and they avoided the freeway and they drove cautiously, but the doll still apparently caused the car to swerve and stall in dangerous places, almost trying to kill them. Ed stops the car at one point and threw holy water at the doll, and they made her home all right. Annabelle is still around today. She is kept in a glass case in the Warrens' museum of things they've collected that were cursed or haunted by something. Originally, she wasn't kept like that. She was just kept in Ed's office, but he came home to find her levitating off the chair, so they thought they'd have a special case made for her, and if you go online you could probably find it, and the case says do not touch or something like that. But apparently, despite being blessed a lot and being locked in the case, she still causes a lot of havoc today. For example, this young couple went to visit the museum, and the boyfriend was mocking Annabelle, banging on her glass, demanding to have scratches left on him. And Ed immediately told him to get out of there. So they left, and on the ride back, the man crashes his motorbike into a tree, getting killed instantly. And his girlfriend was then hospitalized for a very long time because of the story. And apparently, according to her, this happened when they were just making fun and laughing at the doll. I find this story very fascinating. It's the first proper case of paranormal dolls I came across, next to the one time my sister thought my nan's doll waved at her, but that's beside the point. So, because I like the story so much, I had this Raggedy Ann doll, and I plan to get another one very soon. I've had a few weird experiences with her, but I've not made up my mind if she's haunted or not. So my first thing was when I opened her up on Christmas Day. I was so excited, and Mum saw the look on my face, and she asked me if I'd noticed a fragrance on her. And I mean, I got a very poor sense of smell, but I couldn't smell anything. But my mum said that when she opened up the package that my Annabelle doll came from, she had this particular fragrance, and to be fair, it could have dissipated, but this doll came from America and it travelled all the way to Wales, so the fragrance managed to stay on that entire journey, and then it somehow dissipated, when my mum wrapped it up. And as far as I could tell, there was no holes in the wrapping paper or anything, so that was a bit of an odd one, because fragrances and certain smells can be associated with like paranormal happenings. But over the course of Christmas Day, my immediate family in my house, they were all making comments of how creepy my doll looked and stuff like that. My brother really didn't like it, but he would like joke, and he had like a microphone for Christmas, so he was pretending to all spooky voices. Starting the early hours of Christmas Boxing Day, my mum became quite ill, and like she was violently sick, and over the course of the next week, everyone in my house had gotten ill except me, the only one who didn't like say anything negative towards my Annabelle doll. Now that could have just been a coincidence, but like, it was still pretty weird, because I'm normally like one of the ones who gets ill, and I'm always that one. I've had weird dreams surrounded her. Like once I dreamt that I woke up next to her with her looking at me, which isn't, it happens in real life. I didn't put anything down to it, but her face was all shredded, as if like some cat had her. So that was pretty weird. I don't know what that meant. Because, I don't know, as a psychology student, I think there are meanings behind dreams. I just haven't worked this one out yet. And I seem to find little bits of red yarn, like her hair everywhere. Even when I don't have her, I found a piece of red yarn on a train, like travelling back between uni and Wales, which is really weird. And I guess the last thing is that I'm kind of weirdly attached to her, in like the fact that if I go to my boyfriend's without her, because I don't take her over my boyfriend's because he has a dog who likes soft things, but I feel this kind of connection, and I just miss her a lot, and I just can't wait to get back to her. I don't know, I used to really love cuddly toys, but I kind of got over that obsession as I got older. But I just have this weird connection with her. If I go anywhere without her for the night, I will miss her mad. And I don't know, when I'm here, I just like to cutch with her as if she was a kid. Cutch being like a Welsh way of saying hug. But I don't know, these few little things, I don't know if it's enough to confirm that she's haunted. I did a quick pendulum session where I asked if there was a spirit present, and I got yes. And then I asked if it resides within my doll, and it said no. So I don't know what to make of that. I've asked them the paranormal amino about it, and one guy reckons all Raggedy Ann dolls are like possessed by the same demon from the original, but I'm not so sure. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think she's haunted? What do you think she's haunted by? Hopefully my next Raggedy Ann isn't haunted. So that's about it for this video. But I'd like to give a quick shout out to my friend 752, who has literally just posted his first video. and he's awesome, by the way, and I'd love to shout out to my friend Chloe. She makes my thumbnails. I just got a banner for my channel, which for some reason my phone won't let me put up, but I'll hopefully get a way around that. And she's got a channel, so I will leave the links to both channels in the description. So I hope you had a good Ostara. I hope you liked this story, and I will see you whenever I make my next video. Bye.